What is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Fenixx, and this is going to be the astrology forecast for June 1st of 2023. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. Let's hop right on into it. Let's see how are we starting off this month? Well, guys, we do, of course, have that moon in Scorpio at 5 degrees, having just conjuncted the south node and opposing over to the north node, as well as Jupiter. And as the moon progresses, it's going to begin to also oppose that Mercury energy and that Uranian energy too. And of course, it will be squaring over to Mars. So I would say that definitely the tension is building over the last few days. Whereas I would say like Monday and Tuesday, it was pretty chill. The tension Wednesday was building. Tension today is building as well. But there are some positive aspects that are coming. You do have, of course, Jupiter in the North Node getting even closer and closer to that exact tight conjunction. It'll happen later on today. In fact, it'll kind of make like a weird switch. It'll be interesting. And then, of course, you do have Mars over here in Leo, wanting to move things forward, wanting to act on things, but there's some energies that are kind of holding us back, right? Energies that are holding us back. Well, so we do have a lot of this squaring energy, right? We do have, of course, the moon is going to be squaring over to Mars later on. So the moon being in Scorpio is definitely looking for a little bit of emotional edge, if you will, also looking for some emotional depth. But with the conjuncting the South Node earlier, this definitely could be looking for emotional depth in the wrong places, looking for emotional depth in places that we've already invested our energy into, invested emotionally into, but didn't really yield the results that we really wanted to. So, and with that squaring over to Mars, Mars in Leo definitely can spark off some things romantically. So there's a potential for like exes coming back today if you're not careful, or at least getting messages from exes, especially now that Mercury is out of shadow and is moving fast and is moving forward. Mars is moving fast too. Um, so if that comes up, if that energy comes up of exes potentially coming back and like randomly messaging you, definitely don't entertain that. The moon is on the south node still. It's still within several degrees of an orb. So it's not going to be a place that's going to take you to the heights that you want. It's going to take you to the bottom of the ocean, and that place right now is dark. That's not where you necessarily need to be going right now. So we've got to remember that this Venus energy, while it is going to be trining over to Neptune as well, the feminine energy in general has been very stressed lately. Of course, while we do have all this Taurian energy, which is technically a feminine energy, it's still been, pretty intense because the Taurus energy is wanting to build things and it's a little bit slower. Venus has been out of bounds. It's in Cancer, which it normally would be fine being in that energy, but because it's gone through all of these different squares, because it's been going through a lot of this energy and stuff, and it's building up to this opposition with Pluto in Aquarius, there's definitely some stressed energy as far as the that emotional quality, the sort of feminine quality, the sort of receptive quality. Mainly what I'm hearing is that we're wanting to receive things in the way that we want to receive them, but the universe isn't dishing it out that way. And this could potentially, I'm hearing temper tantrums potentially about not necessarily getting things the way that we want to. Um, but we also have to realize that, hey, we're not always going to be given exactly what we want, exactly in the way that we want. The universe has a different plan. It has a divine plan, and when we can go along with that divine plan and actually find that flow and go along with the flow of the universe and not fight it, then that's where we will truly thrive. That is one thing that Saturn and Pisces is trying to teach us. Even though Saturn, in many ways, is about structure and rigidity, with it being in Pisces, what Saturn is teaching us is when you go with the flow and the structure of the universe, everything will work out according to plan. Everything will work out better than you ever hoped, better than you ever dreamed, beloved. Right? It'll work out better than you ever dreamed. The moon will trine over to Saturn too. If you move this forward, right? So the moon Yeah, the moon will trine over to Saturn, probably around actually like 7 degrees, which is actually very nice because 7 degrees is actually the number of Neptune, is the number of Pisces. So it's a very divine, lucky number seven. So even though with Mars having making that awkward stare from across the room to Saturn, even with that sort of energy, the universe is telling us, is like, hey, it may look awkward. It may look a little weird right now. It may not look exactly how you envision in your head, but that doesn't mean that you can't have the beautiful life that you want. Yes, it's going to require a little bit of work. It's going to require getting your hands dirty, getting in the dirt, you know, moving some things around so you can plant the things that you really want to plant. Although hopefully by this point you've already started doing that. Hopefully by this point you already started moving forward and actually taking the necessary actions, right? Sun, 10 degrees of Gemini. Once again, like I've been saying these past few days, the sun's been alone. We're getting this unadulterated Gemini energy. Moon is building up. It's going to be, of course, coming to that full moon, which will be in Sagittarius at 13 degrees in only a couple of days' time. It's going to be on the weekend. So the sun right now hasn't really been going through a whole lot of stuff. Like I said, but coming off, of course, the square to Saturn, coming off a lot of this energy. We had the T square, of course, when the moon was in Virgo too. So there was a lot of squares, a lot of pressure when it comes to that. But here lately, the sun's been pretty chill, you know. So it's wanting us to express our curiosities, wanting us to express and communicate. Writing is going to be huge, of course. I've been saying that writing is actually really big during this time, or simply just communicating, what we want to the universe. This would be a great time to even write down some of the things that you want, and then, like, some sort of ritual, right? You can write it down, you can burn it, you can even plant it outside or something like that. I've done something like that where I wrote something down and then I put it into like a jar or something. You can do different things like that. I think especially with all this Taurus energy, and with Mercury moving forward too, now that's finally out of shadow, this will be a great time to do something like that. Write down like something that you want to manifest, put it into a pot, put some soil on it, even throw a seed in there too. This would be a great time to do something like that. Now, like I said, as we move this thing forward, I want to show you, because I think it's actually really interesting, the dance with Mars and Saturn as they both move to 7 degrees pretty much at the same time. As you continue to move this thing forward, you will see, bam, that is when the quincunx is exact. It's at 7 degrees, 0 minutes, mind you, 7 degrees, 0 minutes. The moon will be at 10 degrees of Scorpio, right? So it's about to actually make another quincunx over to the sun, another awkward stare from across the room. And we can see that Jupiter and the North Node are pretty much exact at this point. Mercury's at 16 degrees. It is flying now. It is so ready to get home to Gemini energy. It is so ready to get home to Gemini energy. It's moving at about, I think, like a degree, a half a day. So there's definitely this quality where we can feel that things are moving forward and things are getting clearer, but there's still this sort of energy that's kind of holding things back. And there's this energy sort of like, well, can I really have the life that I want? There may be some second guessing kind of energy here. And it's not so much that you can't have the world that you want and stuff like that. The reason why things feel a little bit slow, like I said, we have Venus, the feminine energy is not really feeling at its strongest right now. It is slowing down too. And it knows it's about to make this major opposition over to Pluto, right? Not to mention that even though we have all this positive Taurus energy, Taurus is a slow sign, and a lot of people aren't used to slow energy. A lot of people aren't necessarily used to having to put just one foot in front of the other. Especially here in the Western world, we like convenience. We like things fast, right? We want things to happen fast, but that's not what this is about, right? This is not takeout energy. This is not takeout energy. This is freaking going back into the old cookbook that your grandma had, right? Like, like blowing the dust off of it and then looking through and trying to find like your favorite recipe or something like that, and then realizing that some of the words are a bit smudged, but since your grandmother probably passed away, you got to figure that shit out. You got to figure that stuff out and how to actually make that thing. That's the kind of energy this is. It's not takeout energy. This is not something that someone's going to bring you your food. This is not someone's going to DoorDash you your food. This is not that. This is you have to go within yourself and have some sort of personal responsibility, personal accountability, and actually build that thing yourself. We can have help from other people. That's what Sun and Gemini is saying. It's still wanting us to reach out to people, but we got to make sure that we're reaching out to the people that are reminding us of the life that we want and the person that we want to be. And that's the thing. In order to be a new person, in order to have that new life, you have to do new things that you've never done before. You have to go outside of your comfort zone. That's the only way that you're going to be that new person. Because if you just keep doing the same things, expecting a different results, nothing really is going to happen, right? So I think that this King Kunks over here, even though a lot of times King Kunks aren't necessarily the most major energy, but because it's happening exact and because it is Saturn at 7 degrees and Mars at 7 degrees, this energy, when I was before I even popped on here, this energy right here is really giving me Uncle Eero vibes. Now, who am I referring to as Uncle Eero? Well, let me show you because let's see, share screen. Let's see. Boom. This is who I'm talking about. This right here is Saturn in Pisces. Mars in Leo at 7 degrees is Zuko, is Prince Zuko. But this right here is Saturn in Pisces. It's this sort of older, sagely kind of energy that has seen a lot, that has probably done a lot, probably against what he normally wants to do, and now he is still strong as well, right? He is still very strong, but he also has calmed down. This is the make tea not war kind of energy, right? So that's really what we have going on right now. And Mars is wanting to like blaze forward, do something. And also, not only that, but because it is Leo, and you got to think about Leo does rule children, this is sort of the energy where some of you guys are wanting to just like really prove yourself to either your parents or to some sort of authority like figure, or maybe like a mentor or something like that. You're wanting to prove yourself to something, right? You're wanting to just constantly prove yourself. That's why you want to move things forward, but with the feminine energy kind of being pulled back and not being at its strongest, you're not necessarily getting the compassion or the empathy that you necessarily want. So it could cause this sort of like need to sort of maybe act out or just need to kind of force the situation. Uncle Eero is telling us to kind of chill out. Enjoy the finer things in life. Go with the flow of the universe. Don't fight the current. When Zuko in Avatar, if you've ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, but when Zuko was like struggling with his identity, when he was struggling with what he was doing, struggling with what his father was telling him to do, and seeking out the Avatar and stuff like that, when he was struggling with this sort of I guess you could say in the show evil, right? But when he was struggling with the task that was given to him, when it was actually conflicting with his soul, with his spirit, this was his mentors, Uncle Eero, and that is Saturn in Pisces. Saturn in Pisces is telling us that, look, go with the flow. I understand all of this anger and maybe even hatred in your heart, all of this turmoil because you didn't necessarily receive the love that you wanted to receive, or that you needed at one point, but you can give that love to yourself, beloved. Not only that, but you can find the people in your life that will give you that love too. That is what is going on right now with this energy. And I'll share my screen one more time so I can show you when. So we have that conjunction, which is definitely getting tighter. And as you move this forward, I'm not going to have it down to the exact moment because I have this moving forward by hours and not minutes. But you can see what's going to happen is that Jupiter is at 3 degrees, 36 minutes. 3 degrees 37 minutes is the north node, and then they switch. They switch from 336 to 337, and this is going to be the moment. This is sort of another aha moment. We've been getting a lot of them. Mercury coming out of shadow, Mercury, which will conjunct over to Uranus soon, and then Jupiter moving past the North Node finally. And then, of course, we're going to have Mars, which is also going to be kind of moving past as well. This is somewhat of a graduation moment today, if you will. The moon is going to be at 14 degrees of Scorpio by this time, and overnight will make that opposition over to Mercury and Uranus, which means that there's also going to be very interesting dreams once again. So definitely pay attention to your dreams. That's something I'm probably going to talk about in my podcast is dreams and actually like really paying attention to them. I know that for me last night, I woke up like 3 or 4 times. My dreams were intense, and I mean, I already have intense dreams, whatever like that, but they were intense and weird, and I kept waking up. Like I woke up like 3 or 4 times throughout the night. It was kind of a restless night. I'm not even gonna lie. I think I can see here is because, there's aspects of all of us that are kind of restless, that are really wanting to move things forward. But there are other aspects of us that are like, chill. I acknowledge that. I acknowledge that you want to move things forward. And you're building great things in your life. But we still do have to kind of go back and look at some things. Mercury is going to come back into Capricorn. There's this element where we have to go back and kind of clean up and tie up loose ends. But even though we have to go back and tie up loose ends, what this energy is also telling us is to not fall all the way back into that energy, to kind of go back, acknowledge it, accept it for what it is, but don't necessarily fall all the way back into the old patterns and back into the old way, because then if you do that, you're going to be stuck there for a very long time. We can move things forward and go back also and acknowledge what happened without getting stuck in the past. I think it's really going to be more so the aspects of our past coming up to confront us as that energy builds and as Pluto moves back into Capricorn. We're not quite in that new world yet. We're not quite there. We're still like in this weird buffer zone area, when it comes to really coming into this new age of Aquarius, right? So we're not quite there just yet. We're not quite there just yet. But like I said, I still think that this is overall pretty positive. Definitely some challenging energies for sure. But we have been given the tools that we need to move forward. We have been given the tools that we need to really create and manifest the life that we really want. But who said it was going to be easy? No one said it was going to be easy, but you can do it. You can absolutely do it. So let me go ahead and get the card for today. I gotta get ready so I can head to the day job. Get that card for today. The card I have for today is we got the Temperance card. Yep, definitely a card of alchemy and wanting to move things forward. You can see that sun in the crown in the background as well. So definitely follow that sort of energy. It's definitely a day about going with the flow, trusting that you're on the right path in many ways. You can see that the third eye there is there, it's lit up, and they're just trusting. This is a very trusting kind of energy. This is a day where we realize that no matter what happens, if we perceive something as negative, we can alchemize that. But we just have to go with the flow and understand that the universe is showing these things for a reason. We also have the card. Yeah, we have the Death card in reverse too. So if we are afraid of certain things ending, know that those things have already ended. So this is not necessarily something that's ending. It's not necessarily something that is ending. This is something that has ended. Maybe there's some mourning over this thing that has ended, but we still have to realize that, hey, we already transformed and alchemized that. We've already moved forward. And then we also have, we have the Empress card here too. So this is the reminder that, if there's certain compassion and energy, certain feel good energy that we feel like we may be missing or lacking from others, to make sure that we give that to ourselves. So this is definitely a card of self-care here. This is a card where we really got to, we really have to take care of ourselves. We can't necessarily expect someone else to do it for us. So if there's something that you really want, do it for yourself. Treat yourself today, because you've come very far. You come so far, beloved, and you're looking for affection and acknowledgement potentially in the wrong places. You're looking for something that's like way out there to acknowledge or to come save you or to come help you, when really all you have to do is look within, and probably just in your close proximity, because there's probably someone in your close proximity that certainly not acknowledges what you've been doing, and it's probably been saying it for a very long time, but maybe you haven't necessarily noticed it. You're looking way out there, but really the person is right next to you. Like I said, like in a couple of several videos ago, I was talking about being in like the classroom, and we're just obsessed with the bad boy or the bad girl in the classroom because they're popular and they have like that edge, whatever like that. When really it's our best friend, it's our childhood friend right next to us that has been our biggest supporter from day one, but we overlook it just because they're always there. Bottom of the deck, we do have the Ten of Pentacles. It is in reverse. Even when this card is reversed, this is still about fortune and having that beautiful life and stuff. But this is also not going to happen overnight, though. It's going to be something that we have to build. And this is something that, we are coming into as well. So we definitely could still have this, but we also have to realize that in order to receive that energy, we have to feel that energy already within ourselves. And then that's how we actually attract it into our life. That's how we become a vibrational match to that fortune and to that abundance. That's going to be it for your video today, for your astrology forecast for June 1st, 2023. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I will definitely appreciate it. And guess what? My website is live right now, so definitely check out the link below. I'll probably make like another video kind of just going through my website and just kind of like guiding you through it and stuff like that. But my website is live. I published it last night, so very, very exciting. Hope to see you guys all over there as well. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I trust that you will have a lovely, blessed day, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.